Psychic took things further. She said the scrolls weren't just props. They were part of a hex, a binding curse linked to whoever tried to deny the child. And the curse wouldn't end until the truth was spoken publicly or until someone died. A chill hit the fandom. Suddenly, the situation didn't feel funny anymore. It felt biblical. At sunrise, just as the city began to breathe again, something shifted. Something no one saw coming. It was a groundskeeper at Atlanta's Glenwood Cemetery who made the call. He'd been clearing brush when he stumbled across a disturbed gravesite, unmarked but not empty. Inside the shallow pit, an old duffel bag wrapped in chains buried beneath cracked cement. The police arrived quickly. So did VH1 producers. Inside that bag, 3 more scrolls, all sealed in wax, all addressed. One for Rashida, one for Yandy, one for Jasmine, and one more unsigned but tucked beneath them, a black envelope labeled simply for Mona. The moment Mona Scott Young opened hers, her face changed, pale still. She didn't speak a word, just walked to her SUV and drove off. Later that day, a private message leaked, screenshotted, and posted anonymously. It was allegedly from Mona to the network heads. It read, "We were wrong. This isn't just a storyline. This goes back years. Someone's been planting this, directing it, the scrolls, the footage, the paternity leak. It was never random. The person behind this knew where every secret was buried. I think it was Stevie J. Wait, Stevie J, the man who vanished from the franchise years ago after his own scandals. The one rumored to have been blackballed from the industry. That's Stevie." Suddenly, everything snapped into place. The scrolls, the ancient symbols, the cursed whispers, the secrecy. It all traced back to someone who knew how to manipulate emotion, destroy relationships, and engineer chaos with surgical precision. He had the motive, the reach, and the time. Stevie J had once told young Jock at a rooftop party, "When I come back, they going to wish they never sent me packing. I ain't done. I'm just reloading." No one believed him until now, because the final scroll, Jasmine's, contained one simple sentence, burned into the paper. "Your son deserves the truth, but only after the kings have fallen." And then, just as the internet began to scream, the cliffhanger dropped. A private plane landing at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Cameras rolling. A man steps off, wearing all black with shades and a smirk. Stevie J back in Atlanta, and ready for war. And now it's your turn. If you were Rashida, would you stay by Kirk's side? Knowing the lies, the secret child, and now the prophecy hanging over your head. If you were Yandy, would you forgive Mendeecees for years of deception? Or finally let go and protect your peace? If your name appeared in one of those scrolls, would you open it or burn it before the truth consumes everything? Because here's the real question. How many betrayals does it take before love becomes a curse? We watched a brotherhood collapse, friendships severed, families torn apart. But this story isn't over. It's just beginning. The bloodline curse has been triggered. The secrets buried in graves are clawing their way to the surface. And now that Stevie J has returned, the game changes forever. What will he expose? Who does he want revenge on? And why did Mona Scott Young go silent after reading that scroll? This is no longer just reality TV. It's reality unchained. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think is real-life father? Was Jock masterminding everything from the beginning? And what's the true cost of a lie that lasts a lifetime? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because part 2 is coming. And if you thought this was wild, you haven't seen anything yet. And remember, in this game, loyalty can be deadlier than betrayal. We'll see you in the next chapter. We'll see you in the next chapter. Her story. All I can do is move with grace. However, beneath that grace was fatigue. The kind that results from having your reality overpowered by everyone else's interpretation of it. The tension between Yandy and Mendeecees had escalated to the point of half-read messages and unanswered calls. So the silence between them couldn't last long or insufficient. After avoiding the subject for days, Yandy finally approached him one evening, and what had started off as a calm talk swiftly devolved into an intense explosion that no camera could catch in its entirety. "Mendeecees, you got her an apartment?" With a voice that wavered between incredulity and rage, she asked, without even Mendeecees was taken aback by her tone and attempted to clarify that it wasn't what she meant when she mentioned it to me. The words hung in the air like a verdict, heavy and unavoidable. It appeared as though he was merely assisting Erica with a business-related investment opportunity. But Yandy found the explanation to be, "It's not about money," she remarked. "It's about openness and respect." As both voices rose, the argument spiraled, with each syllable delving deeper into long-standing issues about trust and communication. According to insiders, That night lasted into the wee hours of the morning and was filled with long, agonizing silences, accusations, and tears. Following that confrontation, the tension spilt into their private communications. Screenshots that were later made public online revealed snippets of their exchanges. With Mendeecees writing things such, "You're reading it too thoroughly. You keep giving people reasons to doubt you," Yandy retorted. Friends who attempted to mediate stated it wasn't only about the flats any longer. It had turned into a mirror for all the unresolved issues in their relationship, bringing back old grudges and unhealed wounds. Reopened, and both parties found it difficult to find the appropriate words to re-establish confidence. In the meantime, Erica's name kept coming up in every headline and group conversation, and despite her efforts to remain out of the issue, she was unable to avoid the fallout. According to reports, Yandy's friends messaged her directly questioning why she hadn't intervened sooner to provide clarification, while Erica said she had little control over how people saw the incident. Everyone involved made an effort to keep matters private in the days that followed, but leaks that was made difficult by rumors and exclusive insider information. By the end of the week, what ought to have been a private dispute had become public entertainment, fuel for reaction videos, gossip channels, and podcasts, analyzing every word. And in the midst of it all were three people who were worn out by the cacophony, each of them silently wondering if there was any way to make things right. The internet had officially gone crazy by the time the confrontation spilled and the screenshots appeared on blogs. Every major gossip page from the Shade had already been smashed in front of millions of people. After posting about the situation, Room to Hollywood Unlocked saw hashtags like Jar Yandy Conflict, Dar Erica Giftgate, and Mendeecees mess trend on Twitter within hours. Spaces were packed overnight as fans had live arguments, scrutinizing every detail like forensic specialists. Some backed Mendeecees, arguing that others were exaggerating and misrepresenting his TikTok. Producers used voiceovers and memes to reenact the argument, converting pain into content, while others firmly supported Yandy, calling the gesture offensive and emotionally touching. Video received millions of views. Even celebrities began to comment, with some expressing sorrow and others making cryptic remarks that only increased conjecture. YouTubers analyzed X's tone, body language, and even timestamps, framing their videos with headlines such as, "Did Mendeecees truly betray Yandy?" And fans filled the trio's Instagram comment sections with thousands of comments, some kind and some harsh. While Erica's recent photo contained a secret message, Yandy's personal life was front page news every time she checked her phone, and the digital cacophony was oppressive. Mendeecees remained largely silent, which only made matters worse, while Erica appeared to accept the mayhem with grace, sharing thoughtfully chosen pictures that kept everyone wondering. The whole thing had progressed from rumor to a societal phenomenon as silence began to make its own type of statement, moment about loyalty, perception, and the ease with which social media can transform personal suffering into public amusement. Commentators started to wonder about the limits of wondering how much of this was genuine and how much was being heightened by the audience's desire for drama. Everyone was curious about who would talk next, who was lying, and who was correct. Yet, nobody stopped to take into account the psychological cost of the viral spectacle. As the memes continued to circulate and the responses intensified, it became evident that once the internet transforms, there is no simple way to turn sadness into a headline. Quiet attempts at reconciliation began after weeks of commotion. When the clamor had subsided enough to breathe behind the scenes, Yandy, still in pain, consented to have a private meeting with Mendeecees, away from social media and cameras, in the hopes of receiving genuine answers, face to face, rather than through public narratives. According to insiders, the conversation was full of emotional candor and lengthy pauses, and Mendeecees acknowledged he should have handled things differently, admitting that keeping things a secret had caused needless suffering. Yandy listened, her face gentle but wary, still not sure if the apology was sincere or simply damage management. "It's not about the gift anymore," she whispered to him. "It's about how easily you forgot I'd have to deal with the aftermath." This time there was no yelling or slammed doors, just two people attempting to manage a trust that had been shattered by the burden of celebrity. In the days that followed, mutual friends intervened to act as a mediator, reminding them that their relationship had weathered worse storms in the past. Little gestures started to show up, including flowers delivered to Yandy's door, old pictures reshared with sentimental captions, and even a private dinner planned by close family to remind them of the beginning of it all. Erica, on the other hand, is said to have made one final attempt to clear the air and apologized for how things had gotten out of hand, even though her intentions had been misinterpreted rather than being a big reconciliation. It was a subtle admission that too many emotions had been damaged for the narrative to remain flat. But the wounds were still apparent, and fans noticed a change. Less public declarations, fewer indirect posts, and for the first time in weeks, the silence didn't feel like avoidance. Rather, it felt like a growing awareness that everyone involved desired tranquility more than validation. When the dust cleared and the headlines started to fade, what was left was more than just a tale of gifts, rumors, and betrayal. Healing, slow and fragile, but real. It was a mirror held up to the realities of contemporary love under public scrutiny. Yandy, Mendeecees, and Erica had all discovered something painful but profound about how perception can distort reality, and the flat, which had once represented opulence and pride, had become a lesson about communication, openness, and the price of fame. After realizing that every viral post contains genuine feelings, tears, and repercussions, fans who had previously fueled the turmoil started to think about it as well. Perhaps nobody was completely perhaps, everyone was just human juggling love, devotion, and ego in front of an unblinking audience. And even though the narrative might not have a happy conclusion, it serves as a reminder that harmony doesn't always arrive with closure. It occasionally occurs with approval. Thus, as we conclude this Atlanta's most talked about chapter, Sokka, it's still unclear what would have you done in their place? Would you pardon an error committed in the spotlight or leave to keep your peace? Let go. Please share your opinions in the comments section below. Let's discuss it. Remember to subscribe, like, and share, because if this anecdote demonstrates one thing, in the realm of reality stars, the reality is never as straightforward as it appears. Additionally, the following turn, Iselways, one post away is only one post away. Post away is only one post away. Hey hey is only one post away. Hey hey.